Good morning and TGIF from all of us here at Accelerated Literacy Learning. Welcome to another session of All for Poetry and Poetry for All. Please grab your writing tools, your poetry file, some poetry paper, colored pencils if you have them, and let's get ready to rhyme our way into the weekend. I'm so glad that you're here with us and that you've joined us today. Boy, have we been busy together. This is part 2 of our Rhyme Time special. We did our part earlier this week, and if you happen to miss that one, be sure to catch it. It is published on our Facebook page for Accelerated Literacy Learning. You can also catch us on YouTube, or you can directly go to the Accelerated Literacy Learning website. All of our sessions have been posted there. So if you're feeling like you missed the first one and would like to catch a few things, please do go back to it. Although I will be doing some review today, so I welcome you all. Our journey thus far has really been, for me personally, moving, and I'm sure for all of you, you are now better equipped in your toolbox. I've got my toolbox here, which I'm going to share with you in just a minute. Building our toolbox as writers, whether we're going to be poets who rhyme all the time, or poets who incorporate some rhyme in what we're putting onto paper. Whatever we do, you will have the tools, the methods, and the strategies that will get you into writing for years to come. I hope everyone has their writing file, their poetry file. This is just one that I've created for myself, and I'm following along with my colleagues Susan and Lisa with all the wonderful things that they've been doing, along with some of the things that I've been doing in my sessions. Afterwards, I do sit back and I do try to reflect on the things that we're learning about, and just to even sharpen my skills and reflect during these times, during our good days and our not so good days. It really is a great way to capture your thoughts and your moments in time through poetry. I do want to share with you some of the things that we've already done, but before I go into that, I do want to remind everyone, I hope that you're putting your ideas and thoughts in your files and that you're saving them so that you too get a chance to enter to win our first ever contest for writing. And whatever you produce and whatever you reflect on, do submit those to Susan at Accelerated Literacy Learning, and I'll put that up in a bit for you to also get a chance to write on. We do want to see what you're producing. We would love to celebrate all the wonderful thoughts that you have and the way you're applying them and the way you may be adding your own touches to what we're doing. You may be incorporating things that Lisa is doing into something that Susan or I might be doing, and that would really be spectacular to see. We've already started looking at how poets take ordinary objects, they observe them, and then they write about them, and they take those ordinary ideas and through their own reflection use their words to make them extraordinary. And we looked at how through poetry we've been able to explore our feelings, and we reflect on our memories. Our memories are a spectacular tool to use because your memories are yours, and they differ than others. And when you try to capture your memories on paper, those make for really unique pieces of writing. And there are certain things that you notice in the environment and you notice around you. Those are all things that are absolutely worthy of writing about. Another fun thing that we did, we looked at poetry and we looked at how pictures are painted in our minds through the words that we look at in poetry. And we noticed how we can take just aspects of a poem and have those be our wow lines, and those can really resonate and those can really pop for us, and that's really also been exciting to work on. We looked at how we can use our 5 senses, and our 5 senses help us also to incorporate those ideas into our writing. We enjoyed a session yesterday with Susan about how our wonderings can make for great pieces that we can springboard our ideas from. Those would be very unique, especially during this time. And then lastly, we started looking at, obviously we all know that poems have rhythm. Some of them rhyme and some of them don't. And we're going to see that a bit today. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about my toolkit as we continue our session. So I'm going to move that over to the side right now and get ready. Today we're going to look at how poems can rhyme. We're going to devise a strategy that I hope speaks to you and I hope works with you when you come to brainstorm your own writing pieces. Okay, so let's get ready. When we met last time, we looked at this poem, The Rope Rhyme, and we saw how the rhyming words came at the end, and we saw how rhyme sometimes adds an element of fun, and in this poem it certainly did. For those of you who may have missed it, I'm going to quickly read it, and just to get you in the mood of rhyming. Are you ready? Get set. Ready now, jump right in. Bounce and kick and giggle and spin. Listen to the rope when it hits the ground. Listen to that clappity slappity sound. Jump right up when it tells you to. Come back down whatever you do. Count to 100. Count by 10. Start to count all over again. That's what jumping is all about. Get set. Ready now? Jump right out. So that just got us into sort of the rhythm and the beat, and we did see some rhyme in this poem. We talked about what is a rhyme? We quickly sort of reviewed that rhyme comes at the end of words and how the letters would be the same. Words can rhyme even if they're not spelt the same. And we saw that rhyming does not take place when we're using the first two letters if they're the same. That's always been a trick. So do keep that in mind when you're rhyming. Rhyme does not come in the middle of a word either. So those are things we focused on in our first session, and you can certainly go back and capture a look at those. We went away. I gave you a task. I said, please look at the poem, The Little Turtle. I wonder if anyone did that, and I wonder if anyone noticed the patterns in those two. And I'm going to show you what those patterns were. They could have been an A-B pattern. If you did do that, please have a look for a minute and see the patterns that were in them. Okay, and you can always pause this video and go back to think about why those patterns worked out the way they did. And the same thing with the poem The Car Wash. If you selected to think about the car wash, those were the patterns in those two pieces. So do talk to someone about them and see where you were in terms of your predictions and your thoughts and noticings. Today, we are going to try to rhyme together. And I do want to let you know that for someone who enjoys rhyming and writing poetry, it doesn't happen, sort of overnight. It is a process and it is a labor of love. And I wanted to take a minute to share with you my toolbox. My toolbox obviously has my colors inside, and I also have some window markers, and I'll talk to you a little bit about my window markers and why I have those. Inside, I notice and wonder and observe things, and I've got a lot of little cards in here. And on these little cards, I just, from time to time, put some words down. I know when we worked with Lisa not too long ago, we looked at how we can put our feelings and write them down on these cards. Certainly do that. You can also put some words that rhyme. So if I pick one out, I can look at a word, drain and pain. I just start collecting from my memories, from my day-to-day noticings, my wonderings, my thoughts, and my feelings. So having a box that has words that are interesting to you, I know with Susan, you cut words out of magazines. This would be a great place to store them so that you can go back to them. And if you choose to put them in categories, that's a good idea. I've got a jar, and inside this jar are my hot topics. And inside, just different hot topics. So if I think about a memory or a particular animal, a place that I visited, I enjoy sitting under trees, as you saw in one of the poems. My birthday, my 40th birthday was a special one, so I know that was a topic I had here. In my family, dinner is a special time because we do try to always join and gather at dinner time. So different things. Graduation is important to me because my son's graduating this year. So these are different hot topics. And you can start your own jars with hot topics inside them, rhyming words, words that just pop out at you in different magazines or in off of a screen. You can take note of these things and start building your toolbox. I also keep index cards in here, and you can play different games with the index cards as well. So do start building your toolbox. It will really go a long way with you when you start thinking about writing, and sometimes just from your memory you'll be able to rhyme more readily. So a lot of the things that I do today will link back to the toolbox because I have gathered these things. And so you as a writer, you as a poet can start gathering your thoughts and your wonderings and your questions. And when you do write something, please put it inside your file and you can always go back to it. You'll see that today, the item we produce today will likely be something I go back to so that I can incorporate a surprise ending. I might want to incorporate elements of rhyme. I might want to incorporate elements of questions. So our pieces are never fully finished, are they? We keep adding to them and we keep evolving as writers. We keep changing and improving, okay? So that was the first thing I wanted to talk to you about. So collect rhyming words, collect wonderings, collect your wow words, collect your questions, and start thinking about ways you want to select your topic. And once you do that, this is the part that I want you to make sure that you have brainstorm paper for. I'd love for you to select 3 colors, any colors you want, and have a tool that you can use to write on. So that's what we need now, because once we select our topic, and our topic can come from anything around us, a particular animal that we like, an event, a noticing, a wondering. Once you select your topic, then we can begin thinking about how to rhyme. And that was our goal for today. And I wanted to show you this web. Okay, this would be our brainstorm. So once you pick an idea, this is a web that I'm suggesting that you incorporate in your toolbox. Use this web to help you with your ideas, and I'm going to show you how to use it, okay? Once you select your topic, you're going to put it inside your web. When you draw your web, draw the base of your web one color. I use the color black just to have a solid background. You'll see the web is in the middle, and then you've got some shapes, okay? This is how the shape changes. So I've got my toolbox, I've got my topic. I'm choosing the word clouds, and I chose that from a memory. You see, I've traveled all over the world for a long period in my life, and whenever I traveled, it always warmed my heart to open the window when the plane was 38,000 feet up in the air, and I would look out the window and I would see the clouds, and the clouds always mesmerized me. You know, sometimes they were puffy, sometimes they were flat, but they were always so bright. And I just thought about what an extraordinary feeling it was to be literally above the clouds. And so today that's where I'm going. I'm going to think about clouds, and that's going to be my choice of topic today, okay? And I'm going to invite you, when you make your own brainstorm, to put a topic that means something to you. And then after you choose your topic, the next step would be is to put some words that pop in your mind about that topic. As you can see, I've put in a few words, and I'm going to show it to you here. So I've put clouds in the middle. Flight comes to my mind. Soar comes to my mind cold, popcorn, and connect. That's how it started for me, okay? Those words don't rhyme, but those are the words that pop in my mind. Those are the words that come to my mind when I think of the word cloud. And after you do that, the next step would be to use another color. So I know you may not see it here, but the base is black when you build the frame of your web. But my words, the word flight and soar, I've selected the color blue. And that is the color that I've used as my describing words or my wow words. Now it's time to start thinking of rhyme. What words can I add in the rectangle boxes to rhyme, right? So that would be the next step. And for me, I chose the color green, and I used the wooden pencil to write words that rhyme with flight. And what words come to your mind when you think of the word flight? Height, flight, sight, flight, and kite. So as you brainstorm and you use your toolbox and you use your sense of words that rhyme, you fill in the rest of the web with words that rhyme. So if you look at the word connect, a rhyming word would be detect, kept, and select. Think of the word popcorn, unicorn, born, torn, and adorn. Even if you think you're not likely to use a word, like a surprise word for me was the word unicorn, you can still put it down in your brainstorm. You never know, you might use it. And so that is how you would brainstorm. So you'd start with your base of making the web in one color. You'd add your topic, add words that connect to that topic in one color, add words that rhyme in a second color. So then you've got your brainstorm ready and you're all set to start your draft writing. Okay? And if I were to start my draft writing, I'm just going to take a piece of paper. I'm going to grab a marker and I'm going to look at my brainstorm and I'm going to start to think about how I would start this poem. Okay? I'm also keeping in mind that I might want to incorporate a pattern. But as a beginning writer, you may not use the pattern initially. You may just use 4 lines. And the idea of having 4 lines might be comfortable for you. And as you get more comfortable with writing poetry, you might look at the pattern. But let's see how it goes, okay? So I think I'm going to choose the word soar, okay? So I'm taking my writing. And I said through my memories, I just thought about the clouds being really high, far, but not so far because sometimes I actually feel I can touch them. High above where eagles soar. So I've put that word soar at the end. Is a place where blankets of bubbles connect. So I've used that word connect. It doesn't necessarily rhyme with soar. In them they hold thousands of wishes held in hearts and carefully kept. That's my draft. Those are 4 lines. Those are 4 thoughts, and I'm going to show them to you. Okay? Okay. I don't know if you can see the rhyme. Line 2 and line 4 rhyme. And those were my thoughts about clouds. I'm going to show that to you on the screen. High above where eagles soar, is a place where blankets of bubbles connect. In them they hold thousands of wishes, held in hearts and carefully kept. So, to be honest with you, I shared this stanza with my daughter, and she said that she would be happy to sort of co-construct the idea and thinking with me. And so we sort of came up together with the second stanza, and I'm going to show that with you right now. I'll share that. Painted in fluffs of white, like scattered clusters of popcorn, we gaze at them in sheer delight. Oh me, oh my, a unicorn. Clouds. So yes, I was writing a poem that rhymes. It does not all rhyme. I did use my brainstorm. I did look back at words that rhyme, but I did use also my memories. I used some wow words. I did surprise you with the ending a bit. And I did have a pattern. So in building your toolbox, boys and girls, I want you just to think about, I think the takeaway today would be that we brainstorm and we try to build our toolkit. Start thinking about words and observing them. Add words to your toolbox. And then think about the strategy of using a brainstorming web, using colors to document your words and your rhymes. And I think that would really help get you started with rhyming or incorporating some rhyme into your poetry. Okay? I wanted to share with you also what my daughter and I did yesterday, and I'm going to invite you to do the same if you'd like. I'm not sure if the picture is very clear, but inside my toolbox, I've got some window markers. And I know yesterday when we talked with Susan, we talked a little bit about things we wonder about, things that are going on around us. And now would be a great time for us to come together as a community to make others feel good and make others smile, because I do believe a smile is contagious. If you do write a piece of poetry, one that rhymes or one that doesn't, one from today or one from a previous day, it would be wonderful to beautify our blocks and our neighborhoods by using window markers and writing your poem on the windows. It certainly got my cat's attention as Hannah was doing it from the outside. So I challenge you to think about publishing one of your poems throughout our Poetry Month on your windows to beautify your blocks. And I'm going to show you. Luca was very excited when Hannah was using her marker to find her wow words. So Luca agreed with her and was eagerly observing. If you don't have window markers, another idea would be to use chalk. You can write your poems in your driveway. I'm sure they would add a smile to anybody passing by, and it would brighten someone's day. Your smile changes the course of any conversation. So keep those smiles going, especially on this weekend and as we get into a sunny weekend, I hope. So your challenge today, to use that technique of brainstorming to incorporate some rhyme into your writing. Publish your poem on your window using window markers, or use some chalk along your driveway. Even if you take your poetry paper and you hang them from your windows, I'm sure they would add a smile to all people passing by. Upload your samples of your writing or pictures of what you've done to beautify your block to Susan at acceleratedliteracylearning.com. We wish you a wonderful weekend. And remember, your smile goes a long, long way. Thank you for joining us today. Have a wonderful weekend.